Welcome. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here for today's explainer. We've got a truly wild, ascending journey mapped out for you today. We're going to start right on the ground floor with those daily, physical micro-habits we all need just to survive the modern workday. But then, we're zooming way out to look at the massive global wellness trends shaping our very near future. And finally, we'll reach the absolute summit by exploring the ancient mythological pursuit of immortality and inner peace. It's an amazing arc from the super practical to the deeply profound. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's dive right into our roadmap for this explainer. 1. Fueling the busy professional. 2. Habits for desk workers. 3. Defending your digital mind. 4. Future global wellness trends. And 5. Ancient wisdom for inner peace. While they might seem kind of disconnected at first glance, they actually build a complete 360-degree approach to our overall well-being.
Section 1. Fueling the busy professional.
Let's start right at the micro level. We're looking at a case study from the Happy Healthy Plates research to see how we fuel our physical foundation just to survive the modern 9-to-5. Meet Sarah. She's a marketing manager with a completely chaotic morning schedule. She wakes up at 7 a.m. and literally has 30 minutes to get out the door. Her secret weapon? Meal prepping. Look, skipping breakfast forces your body to rely on stored energy, and that is exactly what causes that dreaded midday crash. So Sarah makes overnight oats on Sundays. She just tosses rolled oats, yogurt, and fruit into a jar. Done. By packing in fiber, healthy fats, and protein from things like smoothie bowls or no-bake energy balls, professionals like Sarah can maintain high-level productivity and mental clarity all day long. It's a tiny habit, but it has a massive daily return on investment.
Section 2. Habits for desk workers.
So, according to Oregon Occupational Medicine, sitting at a desk all day takes a serious physical toll on us. But you can actually combat it with structured micro-breaks using the 20-20-20 rule. And it's brilliant because it's just so simple. Every 20 minutes, look at something 20 feet away for at least 20 seconds. That's it. This immediately reduces that intense eye strain caused by staring at our monitors. If you combine this with an ergonomic chair setup, making sure your monitor is exactly at eye level so you aren't wrecking your neck, and maybe add in some discrete desk exercises like seated leg lifts or torso twists, you're actively defending your physical health against the hazards of the modern desk job.
Section 3. Defending your digital mind.
Let's move over to the digital world and see how this builds. Our sources from the Times of India point out a really fascinating contrast about the mental environment we basically live in every single day. On one side, we have mindless scrolling. You know the drill. Constantly checking notifications. It inevitably leads to anxiety, sleep disruption, and that exhausting stress of social media comparison. But contrast that with mindful engagement. This means actively curating a positive feed. Seriously, go ahead and unfollow those accounts that trigger negative emotions. And it means taking intentional digital detoxes. By stepping away from the screen to actually engage in offline hobbies, we stop our digital tools from harming our mental well-being, and we start using them with actual intentionality. And that brings us to a massive emerging concept, neuro-wellness. Basically, our digital lives are increasingly keeping our autonomic nervous system stuck in a low-grade fight-or-flight state. We're constantly on edge, which leads to burnout, fragmented sleep, and that awful brain fog. Neuro-wellness is the practice of regulating our fried nervous systems before a total breakdown occurs. It utilizes consumer neurotech, things like vagus nerve stimulation devices, alongside somatic practices like breathwork and touch therapy. It's essentially the perfect bridge from our personal, everyday digital habits to the massive global industry trends we're about to explore.
Section 4. Future global wellness trends.
Now, what's really interesting here is the cultural pivot it reveals. For years, we have been totally obsessed with tracking every single metric, right? Sleep scores, glucose levels, step counts, you name it. But by 2026, experts predict a massive over-optimization backlash. People are just experiencing extreme anxiety from the constant pressure of self-surveillance and this weird fear of doing health wrong. So what's the response? The festivalization of wellness. We are seeing a powerful shift away from stressful clinical data and toward the joy of communal wellness. We're talking sober morning dance raves, mass participation fitness festivals, and finding emotional release through movement and music. We are fundamentally craving human connection over cold data.
But the shifts definitely don't stop there. The industry is fundamentally correcting itself. First up, women are finally getting their own dedicated lane in longevity research. The global women's sports economy is absolutely booming, which is shifting fitness toward empowering team strength. We're also seeing this concept of ready is the new well, which essentially treats disaster preparedness as core wellness. Plus, there's a major pivot toward tackling microplastics as a direct medical intervention. Oh, and even the ancient art of fragrance layering is making a comeback as an emotional language. It is a lot of change, really fast.
Among all these macro trends, one of the most fascinating is the concept of longevity residencies. The scientific pursuit of extending the human health span is literally hitting close to home. Instead of just visiting a longevity clinic every now and then, people are embedding preventive medicine, biohacking tools, and AI-enabled health tracking directly into the architecture of their homes. We are trying to build physical spaces that guarantee longer, healthier lives. How wild is that?
So the crucial point is, with all this incredible 2026 technology, biohacking, and optimization, are we actually answering the ultimate human question? How do we achieve true immortality? To answer that, we have to dramatically shift our focus from the high-tech future to the ancient mythological past.
Section 5. Ancient Wisdom for Inner Peace.
There is such a fascinating parallel between our modern biotech pursuit of living longer and the ancient mythology of the Amarnath cave in the Himalayas. According to lore, Lord Shiva brought the goddess Parvati to this isolated, freezing ice cave to reveal the Amar Katha. That's the secret story of immortality. To ensure absolutely no one else heard it, Shiva left behind all his companions, his snake, and even the moon. It was the ultimate exclusive longevity protocol, hidden far, far away from the rest of the world.
But here is the surprising twist in the story. Unbeknownst to Shiva, a pair of pigeons were secretly nesting in that very cave. And they overheard the entire Amar Katha. Because they absorbed this divine knowledge, they actually became immortal. According to the legend, despite the freezing temperatures, the lack of oxygen, and the total absence of food in that harsh Himalayan environment, those two pigeons still survive in that cave today. It is a beautiful metaphor, showing that true immortality isn't something engineered, it's something deeply absorbed.
This whole theme of internalizing the divine rather than just relying on the physical world is echoed in the story of Kashi, the ancient spiritual city. When the physical temples of Kashi were destroyed, the people were terrified that the divine had abandoned them. But an elderly priest named Bhulanath had a dream. In it, Shiva told him that his true presence wasn't in bricks and mortar at all, but in the hearts of the devotees. Bhulanath's unwavering faith as he searched through the ruins basically proved that true spirituality and connection aren't found in physical structures. They are found entirely in the devotion of the heart.
And this brilliantly illustrates the profound wisdom of Kashi. In this ancient tradition, true wellness is understood not as preserving your physical body indefinitely, but as an internal spiritual journey. When the soul is pure, death is no longer seen as a termination. It's just a transformation. It's an evolution into a completely different state of being. The ultimate health span, according to this wisdom, is achieving a state of inner peace where you are completely free from the fear of an ending.
Which brings us to our final, provocative thought. We've seen how to meal prep our oats, how to use the 20-20-20 rule at our desks, and how the future of wellness might involve literally biohacking our homes. But as we integrate all these modern micro-habits, we really have to ask ourselves, have we found our inner Kashi? Have we cultivated that unshakable, ancient inner peace that makes all of this optimization truly worthwhile? I'll leave you to ponder that. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I hope this journey from daily habits to ancient wisdom has sparked your curiosity just as much as it has mine.